Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to Movies Are Deep, I guess. That's pretty much the first time we've ever said the title of this thing like out loud. But
like it.
this is our podcast. Movies Are Deep, I guess.
We're gonna have like however many out at this moment. Yeah, we're starting to say it now.
It's like
We
10.
officially released today.
We
Yeah.
did,
So,
and we already got some comments
Hello
on there.
from the future and the past.
Sure is.
It looks
All right.
so cool.
Well, what are you freaking out about?
Doing that. It looks cool.
Yeah, from all the way over there on that tiny ass screen.
Yeah.
All right, well let's just jump right into it. What movie we just watched, asshole?
We watched Mike Flanagan's Oculus, which is we've talked about horror movies. I think on our first one, even on the Scream one, we talked about what's your favorite scary movie. This is my favorite scary movie of all time.
My
True.
face just flushed.
Very good. Mike Flanagan, if you don't know, is getting quite a name now. He did Netflix's Haunting of Hill House television series.
Oh.
He's doing Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining.
Yay!
Coming up pretty soon.
Okay, so actually, I didn't know that was the same person. Now I'm
Yep.
actually pretty excited about
Yeah.
it.
And he
'Cause
did Gerald's Game on Netflix as well.
I love that book. If you haven't read the sequel to The Shining, Dr. Sleep, it holds up. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
he's popular. If you haven't read the Haunting of Hill House book, you should read that as well. Shirley Jackson is my favorite horror novelist. And Mike Flanagan is my favorite horror director, so it was pretty cool that he did a thing.
And
But,
he did the thing really
That was a
well.
cool
Yeah.
thing.
Because I'm fucking terrified.
yeah, but this is Oculus. This was his first major release through Blue Mouse. He had made other movies before, but they'd been much more indie.
Who wrote it?
He
Did he
wrote
write
it. It's based on a short film of his that
Okay.
won a bunch of awards festivals, which is pretty good if you watch the short film. You can go out and
cool.
check that out on YouTube. Although it is very similar to just that one scene where Karen Gillan's going through all the people that died
Yeah.
from the mirror and kind of going through all of her plans and stuff. It's pretty similar to that. So
Well, that
if you've
scene
seen
alone stood out to me.
if you've seen this movie, if you've seen Oculus, you will basically have seen the short, although with a different actor, and it's just one of them. There's no brother. It's a guy. It's a male actor. But
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Interesting.
It's good, and he got
Very
the
good.
yeah.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I was just crying, laughing, and freaking out and losing my breath because after we had watched this, I walked in to go use his guest bathroom, and there was a tree there that wasn't normally there, and
Out
it
of
scared the
context, that
absolute
sounds...
shit out of me. It was standing in the doorway.
Something happened because I found balloons suddenly in the hallway, which the balloons were already there, but I'd
Yeah.
say random balloons are
We've
way
got
creepier
we
than a tree.
We have a lot of furniture moving around my house. We had
That's
some
why
carpets
we're here
cleaned.
right
So,
now.
yeah.
That's why we're in a different room. We had some carpets cleaned, so the furniture's all over the place. Which
Yeah.
it is an interesting movie to watch, where furniture is where it's not normally, it's
Fucked
not
with
in its
my
normal
head.
place.
Yeah, this movie, I don't watch horror films anymore. I used to a lot more
Which
when I was
shocks
in
me.
high school. I know. I like psychological thrillers more, which I guess can be really scary.
Yeah.
But just horror movies that are classified as horror, I don't seek them out and watch them, at least alone, because, I don't know, I feel like I get way too into it.
Well, yeah, I'm noticing.
Yeah. I talked a lot during this movie.
That's fine.
It was really scary. But this, I'm still feeling the aftershocks, and it was really good. It was a really good movie.
I'm a bit weird about that kind of thing. Like, if someone has seen a horror movie before, I want that person to be completely silent during the movie. Like, if we're showing a new person. But a new person watching a horror movie, I'm fine with them talking.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I like
had to.
hearing their reaction.
I had to process through things as they were happening. I couldn't keep it inside, you know?
Because my friend almost, spoiled the plot twist of Scream while I was trying to show someone.
That's terrible.
And that's not okay to me.
That's
Don't spoil movies, assholes.
I do. When I watched horror movies the first time, I really love horror movies. I think I have 3 horror movies on my top 25 list. This being my favorite of them. But
It's all downhill from here.
I'm a nervous talker. So when I go see a horror movie
Me
for the
too.
first time,
Yep.
I'll just talk and try to
As you
make
can
jokes
see,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah, to try and lighten my own mood.
Yeah.
I did that at one point while we were watching this, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, this is going to spoil the mood. I'm not going to make it any more
I
jokes.
had to keep talking about it. I think I even talked about it in Scream. The reason I don't watch horror movies a lot anymore is because all the found footage and
Yeah,
really
I hate
basic,
found footage. You know that.
They were kind of just reusing the same plot devices in every horror movie that had been coming out, and it just got old after a while, and jump scares are too cheap for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I like this kind of new wave of horror that's been happening has been really good, though. A lot of the Blumhouse stuff, and even A24 is getting into it, has been awesome. All of my horror movies on my top 25 came out in the last, probably at least 10 years, but maybe even more recent, like 6 or 8.
It's a little more
There's also
psychological, and there's...
Yeah, Get Out. It was a Blumhouse.
So that's psychological, and that's what I like, so that I feel
a little more. And I love a supernatural element, because I am, as a person, afraid of ghosts. So, I think that doesn't catch for a lot of people who don't believe in ghosts.
Supernatural elements I like because, the title named show is one of my favorite shows. At least it was for the first few seasons.
I can't necessarily get behind that, but...
the first few seasons? I didn't watch the past few.
I haven't really watched much at all. I've watched episodes here and there.
Oh, okay, so then you can't talk.
All right.
Alex, I do want to start off with a question actually for you. And I think that I should have been asking this movie for all of us since these movies come from our top 25.
Yeah.
But my first question, and I think I already know the answer, does this movie hold up and does it still deserve to be on your top 25?
Yeah, absolutely. It was one that after I first saw it, I was telling them before we watched it, my brother and I, we watch a horror movie every day during the month of October, so all...
Spook season, as it's being called.
Spooky season.
It's Spooky Town, or Spooky Season, but we started calling it Spooky Town last year, and so the first year we did it, we watched this one because we were trying to watch through all the Blumhouse stuff, and we watched this one, it was on Netflix, and it's just stressful. We paused it and walked out in the middle of the movie just to catch our breath, and... after that, if to me, if something scares me that much, it deserved immediately after the first time. I was like, this might deserve a spot on my list. And now I've watched it pretty much a couple times a year since then. So
I will definitely. I don't normally do this. I will rewatch this movie, and if I want a scary movie or want to watch one with somebody, I will go to this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a good one to go.
We watched it last in October. I showed Jordan this in October.
I want to rewatch.
Yeah, which Jordan actually. Sort of yelled at us beforehand because it wasn't Halloween.
Yeah, he was
so
upset.
Apparently we didn't have the right to watch this movie.
He was my roommate, and when we were doing he doesn't like scary movies, and he was upset that every movie we watched in October was a horror movie because he didn't want to watch movies with us that were horror movies. Yeah, so of course he came in town, and we said we were watching Oculus for the podcast. I was like, come watch Oculus with us. He was like, damn it, I'm so tired of you guys watching horror movies. It's not spooky season.
If you really want to fuck up a Wednesday afternoon in June, watch Oculus.
Yeah, on Oculus.
It's true.
I'll whip all right, my notes here.
I guess let's get into the notes. Movie, right off the bat, get the counter ready. One day we're eventually going to have an actual counter.
Yes.
Starts off with some sexy transitions. First note I have
sexy camera work. What?
Sexy gun transition.
Yeah.
Sexy gun transition.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's holding up the gun.
Very good.
Flash and then bang, it's a finger gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, transitions in this movie were really wonderful. It has what I like to call now the bed camera.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
The bed camera.
The
I'll see if I can find that scene and post
it. Oh, please try.
Yeah, they would go from laying down on the bed, and then the camera would shift and make them look like they were standing up vertically.
Up straight, so you could see their expressions instead of them being horizontal. It were vertical.
James, if you're watching this, we got to get a bed camera.
Yeah, and it kind of gives that sense of because the whole movie, you're supposed to be throwing people off what is real, what is not real. It makes you feel
it's disorienting.
Yeah,
that's the
word I was looking for.
And then they redo it again. They mirror it, actually. Ooh. I don't like that word right now.
No? Oh, look at that.
They mirror it with the younger girl, Kaylie, when she's in her bedroom. Mm-hmm. I think she's hearing her parents argue. And it's totally mirrored, and she gets up, and the camera goes the other way. And that was a cool... it's kind of a callback to that scene.
Flanagan has great camera work. If you haven't watched Haunted Hill House, I believe it's 6th episode of that show.
Oh, yeah.
It's done in 3 takes. I think it's one of the best episodes of television, single episode of television I've ever seen. It's incredible. It's called Two Storms.
We should watch our favorite episodes of the TV.
Yeah.
Because I have mine.
Yeah, and I've got mine.
Barry season 2, episode 5.
Yeah.
The camera work was beautiful, and as the movie progresses and the transitions become shorter and shorter, they just blend seamlessly. I wanted to comment on that. That was one of my notes.
I have a note on about that.
Yeah, is that the dual plot lines are blended seamlessly throughout
I know!
The movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
incredible.
In fact, when the first times I saw this movie, and even the first couple times, the like final sequence,
the whole third
that's like
act
where it's
scenes.
bouncing back to the final
kids.
night when they get out of the house and they kill their dad, and
Spoiler.
whatever. I
This
assume
whole
if
thing
you're
is
watching
spoiler.
this, you
I
should have
know.
seen it. Also, they address that in like the opening scene that he killed the dad.
Oh, that's
Right.
right.
They pepper it in. But anyway, so when they're going to the final night from when they're kids, and then the very end of this movie, the first time I saw it, I was like, I thought that scene was messy because I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, I can't figure out. Even you guys were saying, okay, wait, are they just reenacting the things from their childhood? Are they like it's hard to follow? But the more that I watch it and I pay more attention,
I feel like that's the purpose of it.
I think that, and like now that I know and I'm looking close and that I've seen the movie a bunch of times, that I can kind of like relax and pay attention. It does make sense.
Yeah,
it's
it
just
does.
hard to get, and so I used to be a little bit critical of the movie, but the more that I watch it, the more I'm like, no, it was me, and it was like my own stuff, and it's hard. You have to really unpack it, and it takes a couple watchings.
It puts you into everything that they're experiencing as well.
Yeah.
What's reality, what's not.
I think that, the Mike Flanagan, the director, he knows what's real and what's not. He knows, who is experiencing what and where they're actually moving. I don't think that it's immediately clear in the movie, but I think that, sometimes I get worried that a director is just
assuming that you understand.
Or no, it is like doing confusing stuff just for the sake of being confusing, and then they don't even know. They're like, oh, it doesn't, like they don't know the answer.
Like he knows.
But I think that he knows.
He definitely knew.
Yeah, and
There's not
so
a doubt in
that
my
makes
mind.
it. For a while I wasn't sure, and the more that I watch it, I'm like, okay, there is a pattern. This does make sense. There's a logic behind it. It just takes some unpacking.
Yeah.
And some of it is like so simple.
Yeah.
Like the little Kaylie watching her father climb up the stairs, and then the reverse is her as an adult looking up the same stairs.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's so easy to do and yet so effective.
The same shot that I thought was really beautiful that they used in the beginning of the movie at the end with both the younger brother and sister and the older ones is when Kaylie is opening the door and she lets the door open slightly, and then you see Tim in the background as children before they run to go to the front door.
Yeah.
When the father is walking around with the gun, they go back to that scene again with her opening the door, and it just flipped from the younger selves to the older selves so quickly that I didn't even notice at first that it had changed.
Yeah.
So, very disturbing.
What do we think about the this is actually something so simple that I want to address. At first, and I still believe this, I think that the parents were cast well. I think that they all legit look like a real family.
I was kind of pissed off at first with the first scene when they were eating lunch together. Mm-hmm. And it was such bright, beautiful lighting. But the ethnicities and their appearance were so drastically different. I kind of got a little frustrated that they weren't either addressing if they were biologically related or I don't know. I get a little upset when it's messy casting like that, especially with appearances, because I feel like you can do that in theater or smaller films, but if you have a feature film like this, you should cast families that look like families. But I forgive that because the parents were cast absolutely perfectly, and you can definitely see the relation within the family.
Yeah,
if that had not happened,
I could see how these two people could produce kids that look like this.
Yes, but I didn't feel that way up until I saw the parents. But the parents were beautifully cast, even more so than the brother and sister. Yeah, I think. Yeah. And the mother is above everything else. She was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the dialogue that the family had. The dialogue between the brother and sister in the beginning was a little cheesy. Just like when she picks him up from the hospital, hey, little brother.
That's exposition
I have a little
for
brother.
you.
I don't say that.
Yeah.
I don't say, hey, little brother. It's just
that exact same line got to me.
It's
not
cheesy.
like you have to say it either because you're gonna figure it out. Like you're gonna figure it out.
That's the thing. It wasn't cheesy to me. It was just unnecessary.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. It just felt unnatural. But the dialogue.
I suppose you could say that she's trying to make small talk after all these years.
And this too is like I wonder if it even feels like it's exposition because they say before when the doctors are checking with him and he's checking out of the mental facility, they say your sister's picking you up, right? Mm-hmm. So you should know by then when she comes to pick her up, it's sister.
Right.
She doesn't have to say that, but it seems like they wanted for whatever reason, I don't think that was them being like, oh, we
Yeah.
have to force exposition. They, for some reason, thought that was a line that a sister would say.
And not
I don't know
until,
where that
like,
comes from. But...
Not until into the movie and when they were younger did I see their actual relationship as brother and sister.
Mm-hmm.
As the older couple, like when they were at that lunch scene and when they were first in the house together, it was just so businessy.
Yeah.
And monotone.
Well, the dad's very business oriented.
Yeah. But
So-
I really enjoyed the dialogue that was written with the family.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Either way, because of that, hey little brother line, I will be marking off this movie a complete letter grade.
Whoa!
No, we'll see. We'll see how the rest of this discussion goes. Maybe 2 letter grades.
Yeah.
There were no jump scare hits when the freaky bitch first appears. Like, there's no, like, jump scare noises. She's just there.
No.
And I respect that.
What's his name? Again, I'm so sorry, the director.
Mike
Flanagan.
Flanagan?
Mike Flanagan. The use of silence in the initial couple scenes where you have the dad walking down in the kitchen. I love the use of silence in horror when you can hear everything else, because every minor sound becomes so much more amplified, and that suspense is so much more effective, I feel, in scaring people than jump scares.
Yeah.
I just think they're so fucking cheap.
Right.
Yeah. I don't tend to like a lot of jump scares. I mean, this one has a lot more like stress to it than in terms of just like.
We know that one stressful scene that I wish you would
I
have
should've-
filmed
I
us
should've
reacting
filmed
And
to.
we will get to it.
I should have.
Oh god.
But yeah, I mean, silence also works really well because in real life, there's no scary music accompanying your scary moments. If it's silent, you really feel that you are alone in this experience with these characters. That's all I really have to say
It's
on
a
that.
really good scene. And aside from the silence that they utilized, the music wasn't overpowering at all, and it was just very simple synthetic beats.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That I really appreciate, because it kind of enacts the heartbeat, or what's the word I'm looking for? Imitates. It imitates a heartbeat in a way, and I feel like just subconsciously your brain, your mind, and your body start becoming in tune with those sounds.
Yeah.
Jump
It becomes
scares
like
are
a more fluid experience for for the audience. Yeah.
Jump scares are not lazy, but they should be used sparingly.
Yeah, I don't mind a
Oh,
jump
it's
scare.
my mother. Should I
Hi,
answer?
Mother. If you want to.
Sure, she can be on our video cast.
All right. Hey,
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, you're on camera.
Hi.
Aw.
Have you seen Oculus?
Yeah, have you seen Oculus, Mom?
You're what?
Have you seen the movie Oculus?
No.
Okay, well, we're discussing Oculus right now.
Oh, okay. No, but I have not seen it.
Okay.
Are you live right now?
Sort of. We are on camera, and this won't be getting cut.
So hi, Mom.
Is it Emma?
Yeah.
That is Emma.
Hi.
Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Have I ever met you in person?
I don't think so. I think this is the first time we've ever talked. Like, really?
Well, I don't think that's right. I think Tristan must have you come over to meet me.
Yeah, thank you for being Tristan's mom.
Well, thank you.
This is great.
He's my son.
Oh, I feel so happy to meet you officially, kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Candid camera.
Hell yeah.
Well, Tristan, we're on our way home, okay?
Okay. Hope you had a good trip.
Yeah, are you already out of there? Or?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, we'll be home in a couple of hours.
Sounds good. Have a safe drive.
All right, baby, I love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye.
So if you guys have just watched Oculus and are feeling the effects of the stress from watching Oculus, tune in directly to Tristan's very pleasant conversation with his mom, as well as Emma meeting Tristan's mom for the first time. And then it'll calm you down, because that's just wholesomeness.
I watched her dogs this weekend.
Maybe we'll get a skip too, but if you wanted to watch that, me and Tristan's mom officially met for the first time, which I can't believe, but I actually had that exact thought right before she said it.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
This blanket's hot.
All right, let's jump back into this, please.
Yes. So I was saying that jump scares are not lazy per se, but they should be used very sparingly.
Yeah. Like I think.
I mean, they're effective, but if you use them every 5 minutes. I'm
Right.
trying to bring back my swearing.
The Conjuring,
Just-
the first Conjuring film, I think, is like a good example of them being used effectively.
Oh
I
my
really
God.
enjoy the first Conjuring, and they do some really good jump scares.
There's
that...
one jump scare that I think anyone that's seen The Conjuring knows what I'm talking about.
You talking about the clap?
Oh no, I'm actually talking
No.
about, it involves the dresser.
The way they jump on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's like another good horror movie.
Fuck that
I
scene.
haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Well, we'll watch it eventually, and then
Yeah.
we will record
Yeah,
some
I'm happy
reactions
we
to that
finally
one.
watched like a. I know you said we watched Scream, but Scream is in a different category.
I
for
know,
me.
I'm just saying that it technically is
Yeah.
still a horror film.
Yeah, I'm just happy we watched one.
Yeah.
Finally, like
Yeah.
I just don't seek them out, but I enjoy them so much that I really wish I had the balls to watch them alone.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're more enjoyable with other people.
Yeah, I agree. I
Absolutely.
tend to not watch them alone. I've watched, like,
Yeah.
I'll rewatch horror films alone, but I tend to not watch them for the first time by myself.
Yeah, I just
But
like to
also,
be
like,
scared
I'm a
with my
little
friends.
bitch, so that's another reason why I won't watch them alone.
We're going ghost hunting soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tristan has a ghost.
I also look
Yeah.
forward to my Ghost Hunter short that I'm going to try to write.
What?
Yeah.
Yep, will be released sometime
See
in the
found
next
footage,
2
but real
years.
footage
No,
of
I'm
Tristan's
not doing found footage. I don't think.
Tristan's,
I'm trying to avoid it.
ghost.
Yeah. We are going
It
to
was
live
a
stream.
joke,
We are
like-
ghost hunting at Tristan's house. We're going to live stream that, which
Yeah.
maybe might
Will be
already
it.
be up by now. But
Oh God.
Who knows?
or it won't have happened, or we're dead. Who knows?
Oh my God, we could be dead.
So
These
we're
all
technically
they're all
ghosts.
scheduled to go out automatically, so I mean, it's
We
possible.
Right now, are ghosts.
Oh my God, if I'm
Spooky.
Dad, Ian, I love you. It's my brother.
Okay,
Oh.
that's
it.
nice.
Sorry.
The
Oh yeah, go back to my notes.
So the delivery guy or whatever it is, the packager who's helping her load up the mirror into
Yeah.
his car. I liked what he said. Like, if we're gonna move her, he called the mirror her.
Yeah.
If we're gonna move her, we better do this.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little thing.
Yeah, we funny side note, we had to set up in this room because I didn't want to do it in the other room that had a mirror.
Yeah, we would be filming
Yeah.
right over there, and it would be an actual square table discussion. But Emma said, "No, I see a mirror right there, and that's not okay
it would
with me."
distract the
So,
shit out of me. I'm still thinking about it being behind me. Like it just.
oh man, I'm gonna edit something to randomly appear behind
Yeah.
you. So when you're rewatching this,
That's
I'm
what-
not gonna do that.
You guys can't see it, but we have a lot of cameras pointed at us to
God
do these
damn it.
things, and it reminds you very much of this room where the mirror is
Little
in the movie.
bit.
Has like a lot of cameras and like things that click, and like this
Yeah.
camera over here keeps clicking off all the time. I thought maybe I was gonna find the alarm noise on my on my phone to be the brr, brr, brr.
Oh God, I would have hated you.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Tristan getting a very Oculus-y setup.
Kaylie,
I do
I
plan
do
on
need to
buying
turn
a
this
laptop
camera back
glass.
on.
Yeah.
You can buy a replica of the mirror from Oculus.
Why?
It's very expensive. I think it was like, might have been more. At first I thought it was like $200. I can't be right because I would have bought it by now. It might have been $2,000.
Jesus, like,
'cause
sorry.
you got to ship it in from like Sweden or Finland or something.
Yep, get a Finnish ghost. Why don't you?
Yeah.
I have 3 notes in a row about how well casting is done. Like
Yeah.
it really.
Yeah, that I'm looking really for like everybody who's in this movie and like where their careers have gone. The girl who plays younger Kaylie is in a movie called Mr. Fantastic, I think, with Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, cool.
She's the oldest daughter. And
They get
the-
sued by
great.
Marvel.
Yeah.
She was so good.
Or maybe it's you know what? It's Captain
yeah,
Fantastic.
the younger
Okay.
kids were better actors than the older.
Yeah,
siblings.
yeah. I thought the younger kids were
They were
really
so
highlights of the movie.
good.
Yeah.
They were.
God, I got some.
They were
mad
probably being a little
appreciation for
competitive though.
child
They're like,
actors.
we got to step up our game if we're competing with these big
Yeah.
name actors.
Well, Karen Gillan wasn't a big name at the time.
Was she not?
No, she was. I don't even know if she was finished with Doctor Who when this movie came out.
She was.
Wow.
Okay, she might have just been then.
Because we were on the
She-
11th Doctor and Clara was the companion, so we were
Hello.
definitely
Okay.
A
past
little underwhelming for
Karen
me.
Gillan.
The two of them. I think it was just the way that their dialogue was written together. It was awkward. And
Yeah.
it's the only issue I really have with this film is their relationship was not very well established. And I feel like it could have been purposeful because he had been in the mental hospital for so long and she was in foster care and they had separate lives
Yeah.
and they didn't know each other anymore. But
Yeah.
I feel like if she really wanted him to be a part of this with her, she would have been a little more warm towards him, and she really was not looking after her younger brother.
No.
She was way too occupied with her goal of
Yeah.
destroying this.
But I do
paranormal
think that
entity.
is something, they kind of touch on, is that she, in the time off, has become very obsessed with it. Whereas, because she says that whole thing about the promise, and he has kind of worked past it, although maybe in a way that isn't necessarily correct. But he has worked past it in a way that she certainly did not work past it and has only become...
Shit,
like,
she fucked
Which
up his
this
life.
mirror did not need to be destroyed by them. They could have lived out their
He
lives
could
without
have had
it.
a normal fucking life. It's
They
all her
both could
fault.
have.
Yeah.
They went to
I mean, I
therapy.
can understand, and you're like, okay,
If
we
she
know
did.
it's our moral responsibility because we know what this mirror is capable of.
I
if
guess
we can
so.
find a way to destroy it, it's going to keep killing people, so we may as well destroy it. Now,
And I will say, she thought ahead.
Yeah,
Like,
She
Where
really
her-
did think this shit through, but
where
it
her
got
mistake is that she needed to first prove her parents' innocence. Like, she could have just let her parents be dead, set up the anchor, turned on a timer, and walk out of the house. Yeah. And that's the end of the mirror forever. But she, I guess maybe in an effort to either save her job or save her... I mean, I think a bigger part of it, too, is, the biggest part is that she needs to prove her father innocent.
The only way
Which in the end, I think they...
No.
they have footage,
So I was
though.
thinking about that. That's what I was thinking about.
I wish... It's funny, my brother is coming into town...
Okay, I'm happy we're
tonight.
getting to this because
he's
I
gonna
forgot.
he's gonna be in town tonight at I'm picking him up at the airport, and I wish he had made it for this podcast because he finished law school and has what he believes a pretty strong legal defense for Tim.
Call him.
Who was arrested at the end. He's probably on the plane.
Shit.
Or close, but yeah.
We could call my mom again.
He says he's got a pretty strong legal defense, he thinks, for Tim, based on a case he read where someone was let off essentially for the inability to disprove that a paranormal force, that he found precedent.
But they do have evidence. Would the paranormal force
Yeah.
be able to tamper with that evidence, or does it exist?
Yeah, well, I mean, they seem to imply in the movie that cameras cannot
capture.
or will not be fooled, in the way that she, shows the stuff on the floor, and then she has the pot, and that cameras are the true, truth. Switch chairs out.
The only thing I think that could prove it is the plants dying so quickly.
Yeah, so the plant's dying. Obviously, at this point,
Chair was too noisy.
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
They have the they
taller.
have a lot of footage, even just the footage of them moving the cameras and then
Yeah.
not knowing.
But they don't know that they didn't know. They could
yeah.
just that's.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's
because
concrete
basically what it
evidence
could be
enough.
is what they may just say is the sister was equally crazy.
Yeah.
And we just didn't catch it at first. There's a long history of mental illness in the family, and you guys just look insane setting up these cameras
Still,
in the mirror
that's
and
two
stuff.
cases of mental illness. That has to count for something.
Yeah.
If they're both insane.
Yeah,
So
I was thinking about that. What the trial would look like at that point, because I can imagine he would have to go to trial for the murder of not only his sister but her fiance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because they don't have the fiance's death
And then
on
they
video.
could find her
So he's
fingerprints
confirmed to be
on
dead.
that.
Yeah.
He's definitely dead.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fiance, I believe, is definitely dead. I think even when that final scene where they're showing everybody in the window, all
Is
the
he
ghosts,
there?
I think he's one of them.
I thought at the last moment while he was being dragged by the cops,
Yeah.
we were gonna see the fiance in perfect health, just
that he was
looking
gonna
in.
say. Yeah, I think.
Man, Nathan's gotta die.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's fine. At least they don't both have to. They can both
That's
be dead.
true.
Well, but they're trapped in the mirror.
That's true. Are they happy in the
I
mirror?
do not believe.
I can't fucking
you
imagine
would be.
so.
Yeah, it doesn't
Because-
seem like the mirror would kill you.
Because
putting
all
in the
the
mirror
spirits
and
were egging on the other people to commit
I'm just
those
trying
acts.
to.
There is
I
no
bet
silver lining here.
I believe that the spirits are the image
Forever.
uses the people it killed. They're part of the
They're a
They're
vessel
not their
now.
own.
They're
They're not their
Okay.
own.
It's so sad. I will say, aside from this movie being scary and making me very angry,
Yeah.
it also broke my heart. There's the whole dynamic of this mother and father just going down this rabbit hole of insanity, and their children just being there to witness it, being attacked multiple times by their own parents. And that final scene,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get choked up with. It really hurt me with the son and the dad. and he's holding the gun, and he puts his finger on it.
Yeah. And that's what cracks the mirror. That's the only thing that does
Yeah.
damage to the mirror is that the father is able to.
He snaps out of it for just a
Overcome.
second and makes his own son.
You need me to go get you a tissue?
No. That actually really.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah. There's some.
I'm not an emotional person.
The past movies have challenged
I tell you what.
that idea.
I will choke you out of it with something incredibly not heartfelt. In that, so Parker and I have talked a lot about my brother a sequel to Oculus and what we would do for the sequel and whether or not it would focus on the brother or not and his trial and if they would bring the mirror to the trial, which is one way. But the other way we talked about it is that it seems very clear within this film textually that the mirror cannot mess with the perception of children. So
Yes,
the only
it doesn't
people,
seem to be.
Yes.
the only people who
I was
get
thinking
who have
about
the
that.
like whose brain gets in like aren't seeing reality are the adults, and that the children, the two main children who we see, and even the children when she talks about all the former stories, the other children are drowned by their mother. They're thrown in a well. Whereas every adult dies through like, either not eating or not drinking or somehow, them killing themselves in a way. So the children have to be disposed of by the parents that are under a false influence. And that's what the movie established that. So Parker and I have talked about a potential sequel in which somebody trying to destroy the mirror uses children to try to kill it. like wrangles a bunch of orphans or something and uses them as like fodder because they are more immune than he is personally to the mirror. Although it seems like that's the dark premise that we have talked about. Because
I love it.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you. What you think was able to break that part of the mirror? Do you think it was the literal bullet hitting the mirror, or do you think it was the bullet going through the father and then cracking the mirror by hurting the father?
It's the bullet going through the father and bouncing back through and hitting the mirror, I believe.
Okay, so you think it's a physical bullet and not actually a representation of the spirit being
father
a part
breaking
of the father?
through. No, I believe, although I think it is still
both.
represented that way in that, the father being able to break through the spell is the only thing in the whole movie that the mirror can't plan for. It didn't account for it. It's so smart and it's so ahead of all of our characters, which is one of the things I love about this movie is how much of a character the mirror is and how cunning and smart the mirror seems to be.
I have another question for you after that.
Yeah, and that this is the one time in which the mirror is genuinely caught off guard because it would not put those people in that place if it thought it could be hurt by the gun. And so because of that, it's genuinely caught off guard for the amount of time it takes for a bullet to travel through a person and it gets cracked.
There we go. Pro-gun once again.
Yeah.
Guns are the answer,
guys.
guys.
They even have a conversation where the dad, he gets the gun and the mom's yelling for it. And he's like, well, I'll keep the ammo locked up separately from the gun, and he says something sarcastic about, and that should be really helpful for when we finally, if something is to happen, basically giving what is the DC versus Heller, a major Supreme Court gun case, and saying that it is illegal to force people to keep ammo and guns kept separately. That's a pretty big case, and it's very anti, Heller is went in favor of Heller, so.
Interesting. So the other question I had, oh my god, where did it go? We were talking about the gun. Okay.
Mirror.
As much as I hope that somehow Kaylie and Tim's plan or Kaylee's plan could work, do you think the entire time the mirror was just like, y'all are idiots?
Yeah.
I'm obviously going to put you through this trial and tribulation and make you relive the worst nightmare of your life and then just kill you.
Yeah.
Was there any point in which the mirror was actually threatened by Kaylee's plan?
Yeah.
Because it seemed from the get-go that thing hanging down was just her own death waiting to get
and
her.
it even messes with her. It messed with them a couple times where it puts them in front of the mirror, whether real or not. And that one scene where Kaylie comes to, staying in front of the mirror and sees the anchor and runs through, and it's like, it probably could have just let her happen right there.
It was just
I don't think it ever intended, and I think even watching this one, I believe the mirror intended on letting Tim leave to be arrested again.
Yeah.
That the mirror even knew that, like, it was setting up Tim to do the anchor.
To go through.
Yeah, he let the phone call go through, the mirror let the phone call go through to let the cops show up. And I believe the mirror, and then let them call again and let it not go through the second time to make the first call seem faker.
Yeah.
I think the mirror was clearly in control, knew exactly what it was going to do. The whole
That one gave me chills.
Yeah,
Damn
it
it.
did. When they were on the phone?
Yeah, it didn't no, I mean just now when he put that together for me.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So there was no point in which they
Yeah.
were ahead of the mirror.
No matter what. Yeah.
All right, well, I guess this is a good place to segue into the theory that I had.
Oh, Tristan
Every
had.
single
I had a theory
Theory
which
popped
I
into his
guess
head.
it was it was loosely close to being accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was that Kaylie was also killed all those years ago, and that this was all just a giant plot by the mirror to get Tim back.
Sure.
Got it.
Yeah, because Tim was the one that cracked
The only way that would confuse me is because of the fiance being in a scene with Kaylie.
I'm saying that he could have even just imagined that as well. I don't know.
but there are
kinda
scenes in
glad
which
that
Kaylie is alone.
I'm saying that those.
Yeah.
When I had
But,
the theory,
yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe he imagined those too.
Yeah.
I was curious where it was going to go. I'm honestly relieved that theory didn't come into fruition because I think it would have needed to be done a lot differently.
Yeah.
But I guess when I say I'm loosely close, this kind of was still a plot by the mirror to get Tim.
Yeah.
Get the other
Tim
children to
definitely
finish the
would think
job.
has some, resentment in it. It certainly remembers everything that's happened to it.
Yeah.
And probably I would say holds some resentment towards Tim.
Definitely.
Yeah, it has a lot of time to reflect on things.
He's the one who
He's the
technically
one who
cracked the mirror.
at
Nothing.
first. Yeah. Which one shut off?
That one.
Okay. Yeah, oh God.
You guys
Tim was
missed my
pissing-
amazing pun.
He was pissing me off.
What'd you say?
I said it had a lot of time to reflect on things.
Oh, shut the hell up. That's funny.
That's fine.
Tim was
Had
really
to make sure
pissing
that
me
got
off
heard.
throughout the movie because I really, really needed him to come the fuck into the moment.
To get on board, yeah.
Because he was just walking around with this childlike ignorance and wonder for so long. She's like, come on, Tim! Put it together!
At the same time, it's
Sorry
like,
for the sound.
I can't imagine
that
going into a
peaked.
mental institution being so sure of a thing.
Yeah.
And they spend 11 years,
That's-
and you're like, okay, I'm sure of the opposite thing. And then within
5
24
minutes.
hours
Yeah.
of being out, you're like, oh no, wait, I was right the first time. I've wasted 11 years of my life getting past something that I knew was right all along.
Yeah.
And that would suck.
Yeah.
So you feel for Tim a little bit
It hurts.
in his...
And in that moment when he looks at the cameras pointing towards each other,
Yeah.
the look he has on his face, even though I wasn't very impressed with his performance in this movie, that moment was really
Yeah, I
well
think
done.
it's telling that he's one of the people from this movie who has not seen a lot of work post this film.
Yeah.
Not that he was really bad or anything, but
No, he
but
just
you're right.
didn't
He's
stand-
of
they-
an
neither of them-
outstanding cast. He's a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
If you're watching this,
Yeah.
sorry.
Great, still great work.
Bob
Love the
was our
movie.
least favorite character out of everybody.
Yeah. I hate those types of scenes where you think when the kids get out and she gets out and she tries to tell Bob there's no food in the fridge and he just brings her back. It's like, your kid's acting out. Ooh, hate Bob.
Wait till they start driving.
If a kid ever knocks on your door and is like, hey, my dad is acting insane and has my mother chained up
She didn't know that.
in
right?
our ups. Yeah, she had seen it
Oh.
by
Did she
then.
tell him that?
I don't know. But that guy was like, let's go talk to your father about this.
You
Bob.
gotta find I had a note about that. What did I say? This is why kids need cell phones or a
Yeah.
trusted adult in their life.
Oh
that
yeah, they
can
even
communicate with.
bring that up. That
Do they really?
Yeah, she's asking. Kaylie's asking for a cell phone. She said, "I'm the only one of my kid in my class who doesn't have a cell phone." And the mom says,
Oh
"Oh
my
no."
God, you're
That's like
right.
in the opening scene when they're talking at dinner.
I wonder if she already had her grips on her brain at that
Yeah,
point.
I don't think so.
I love that scene though. That
I think
that
that's
dinner
just a
scene
mom
was
being a
really
mom.
well done.
Yeah.
The mother and daughter fighting was
Yeah.
it was really good.
The movie actually pulls a ghost in a bed sheet thing.
Yeah, it
Albeit
does.
successfully, I
That
might
was very
add.
obvious when she's walking into that little warehouse and you see the two figures in the background with the sheets over their head. I'm like, well, they're gonna have to
Well,
do
the
something
next
with
time
that.
she shows, and there's 3 figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
But I
cool,
saw
yeah.
those
Still,
two
I've
figures
never
right
been
away.
scared of a ghost in a bed
No.
sheet before,
The
and
best-
it did it.
The best ghost in a bed sheet is.
Oh, you have these ranked.
Yeah. Well,
there's
it's just the 2. But the best
Oh,
one
okay,
is
yeah.
Paranormal Activity 3, which is the only good Paranormal Activity movie, and they have, it's set in the 80s, and it's found footage, and they have this camera on a track, and the track shows this, it's a sheet, and it shows the babysitter sitting the other end. I can do it this way. And then the sheet's coming towards the babysitter, and she's not looking at it, and we see the camera, and it sees that the ghost is right behind her in the sheet, and then it goes that way into the other room, and when it comes back, it's just a sheet
Ew.
on the ground, and it's super scary. Oh yeah, ghost stories.
A ghost story.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna talk
I was
about.
gonna bring that
Have
one up
you
too.
seen
I
this?
haven't seen
No.
it. Isn't
Okay,
there like
I
a 20-minute
watched-
scene of him eating cereal?
Yeah, it's weird. It's I
Wow.
only watched the first
91%.
30 minutes of it. Yeah, we should watch this.
Huh.
But it's yeah, well, who is in it? Lily? Is it?
Yeah,
Lily?
and,
no, it's Rooney Mara.
Yeah, and
is
Casey
in it.
Affleck.
Yeah, and it's just this. Is there any dialogue in it?
I think there's some,
There's
but
very-
after he dies,
Very
it gets
minimal
very quiet.
dialogue in it, but it's him, and he's dead, and he's in a ghost sheet, and it's like it's a weird indie film.
Yeah, I want to see that one. I've been wanting to see that for a while.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of costumes, even in the 21st century, you cannot go a horror movie without a woman in a nightgown. I don't know how many women these days wear nightgowns to bed. It's 2019,
She had like
baby.
a little nightie on.
She had
Yeah.
that classic ass white nightgown. The costumes were beautiful. I loved the final dress that she was in, but I just thought that was funny because
I noticed that too this time around.
you can't. It just
But you know what?
I accept it.
Karen Gillan pulls it off.
Well, yeah.
She looks good in that nightie. So
Karen. She's
Karen
not
Gillan?
Karen. Wait, who's the mom?
Oh no! Oh, I know what you're saying. The long nightgown. No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the scene. It's
Oh,
like
no.
early in the movie, and she's got the short
Little
nightie.
short one. No, I'm talking about like
Yeah.
in every horror movie, there's a mom or somebody wearing
Yeah,
a
in
long white,
nightgown. Yeah,
old-fashioned white gown,
Yeah, yeah.
even if it's modern day.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many women in modern day wear
Are wearing
things
those
like
long
that.
nightgowns.
If I had one, I would probably wear it. But
Okay,
I mean,
then she has one.
yeah, but I'm saying like in every horror movie, there
Yeah.
is one.
Okay, well maybe you're in a horror movie. Not yet, but you will be.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't wear them.
Ooh,
It's inviting
maybe
ghosts into our
that's-
home.
That's it. It's the common thread between all horror movies.
Yeah.
The long white nightgown. Because, you know, you gotta make that blood
Alex,
look
take a
good.
note of that.
Blood doesn't look good on anything else except for white.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that thing that you wore to the party the other night?
I
Isn't
did
that-
wear a long white. Oh my god, that's funny. I'm gonna.
That's like a
Hold on.
nightgown, isn't it?
That's funny. There it is.
Can I show that to the camera? Would
I mean,
that
send
show
it
up?
send it to me, and I'll make sure I put it on the screen at this time.
I will. Yeah, I just went to my work's zombie prom party, and
Mm-hmm.
I
You
went
wore
as
a
a
long
vampire. I
white
wore a
nightgown.
long white nightgown covered in blood. I get that's just what looks best,
a
covered
classic.
in blood.
All right, there you go. Oh, I thought
Okay.
you were going to say that's just what looks best on me.
Everything looks good.
I wrote Tim looks like he could be on The Bachelorette,
Yeah, for sure.
and I'd probably root for him.
He had this innocent younger
Yeah.
sibling look to him.
Yeah.
That was good casting physically.
He'd be a great front man for a boy band or something.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He had the
Yeah.
puppy dog eyes.
Yeah.
On a different note, it's nice to see siblings that actually get along.
Yeah.
Instead of like constantly bickering and fighting as children, and they're
Yeah.
actually playing together
that's
and they're
weird to
they're
me.
friends.
So my little brother, we're 7 years apart. There is likely not one incident in my childhood in which we argued seriously.
Huh.
I've really never had a fight with my little brother. We've never hit each other. We just have a really good relationship. So I've never... I see it in other siblings, but
Yeah.
this kind of relationship in a movie especially, it doesn't shock me. And it
Okay.
makes me happy to see that represented
It's
because
kind of a
I feel
stereotype.
like...
Because
though.
it does not get represented.
Yeah,
very
unlike you
often.
and-
Yeah, me and my siblings fight all the time.
Yeah.
So it is different, but you know, it is good. I do think though, if my parents were possessed by a demon mirror, me and my siblings would get along enough.
I don't know if I would be as ballsy as that young little girl, though.
Have to
Oh,
be very
holy
brave.
shit.
When she swacks the mom with the golf club.
Swax.
Yeah.
And she jumps out
Swing
of
and
the fucking
whack.
second story of the house. No hesitation. Jumps out of the second story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. And then goes back for her brother.
Yeah.
And then
Term.
goes back.
Yeah.
That's love. That is love. And they were so much better than the old
Or
two.
stupidity. I don't know. I don't have a sibling.
You gotta have both.
So I wrote down next the water they got as precaution was Aquafina, and that's when I first started to realize that this is indeed a horror movie. Fuck Aquafina.
Wait, you like Aquafina water?
I hate Aquafina
It's better
water.
than Dasani though.
No, Aquafina is the fucking worst.
I would drink Aquafina.
I'm not
over
trying to watch
Dasani.
my swearing here. Aquafina is the fucking
I'm
worst.
drinking some tap water.
Okay, I have told this story many a time. I don't think on our podcast,
No,
though.
you haven't.
But when the big hurricane was coming through Florida a couple
Yeah.
years ago, and people thought that we, Gainesville, were going to die, the
Yeah,
rest of
it
the
was-
Florida got screwed
was
up.
Yeah,
Funny.
it's so stupid.
There was
Gainesville
some-
wasn't touched, and
It
there was like a
never
fucking
was.
apocalyptic
But
emergency
people
state
thought that
where-
we were going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everywhere you went, water is gone, sandbags are gone, equipment is gone. And I went to my local CVS because I prefer it over Walgreens. Whatever, not important. Even though I think they're the same company. But, so I go there, all the water is gone, except Aquafina. Whole Aquafina shelf,
Or Dasani.
fully stocked.
Which one?
What?
Dasani? I thought you said Dasani was
No,
the
I
one.
hate Dasani.
Oh.
He is
I hate
our
Aquafina. Aquafina fully stocked. So what this tells me is that people would rather die than drink Aquafina.
Or they got an Aquafina shipment.
Yeah,
And-
more likely.
And guess what? I didn't buy the Aquafina either.
One person here would rather die than drink Aquafina. I drink
I just-
Aquafina all
I'd
the time.
say
Fill my jugs of water or whatever I have in my house with the sink water. I filled my bathtub up. I'm good.
that's fine. It's not Aquafina. See, the water we're drinking right now, it's not Aquafina. I'll drink that water.
It is fridge filtered water. And it's very
Aquafina
cold out of a
tastes
Twilight
horrible.
cup. No way, I'd rather drink water.
Oh my god. I need water now.
I did
Ooh,
have
it's full.
someone at that party tell me I looked like I was in Volturi, so that was cool. I
Anyways,
modeled my makeup after Jane.
Which one's that? Is that the Dakota Fanning character? Alright.
Yeah, look at it.
there is some, and I'm quoting myself, there is some graphic ass shit in those
Yes.
crime photos
Wow.
that she's showing.
That's cool.
That was fucking good.
Yeah, those. Anyway.
Oh, yes. Well, I saw that in person, so.
Yeah.
Those crime photos are very graphic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
those
Here's
were good.
a little tidbit. What do you call them?
Fun fact?
Fun fact segment.
Oh, yeah, it's your
So-
movie. You can do the fun facts.
Yeah, so the mirror most often takes the persona of a victim who they said she had a miscarriage. She pulled out all her teeth and had a miscarriage.
Mm-hmm.
That actress who plays the most common mirror persona is Mike Flanagan's wife. She is in
Oh.
almost everything he does.
That's cool.
She's in Hush.
Perks.
She's the lead in Hush. She is in Haunting of Hill House. She
Did we
plays
see Hush?
Theodora. I saw Hush. But I don't.
What's that?
It's not on my top 25. Hush is
No, no.
okay.
Is that
Um,
about the deaf woman?
Yes, she's deaf. Yep.
And she's in
And
the house. that she's-
defending her house from the
Okay.
guy from Spring Awakening.
Yeah, we watched Hush
What?
this year.
Yeah, it's
Jonathan Groff?
no,
Who?
the other one.
Okay.
The guy who plays Moritz.
That's how I know, because I
Okay.
heard that
I
that
don't
was
know
his
his
wife.
name.
Yeah, that's his wife. She's in all of his stuff. She's at least a bit role in almost everything he does.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
she's a
Sweet.
very good actress, and she should get parts in non-Mike Flanagan movies. So it's weird that only he seems to be casting her.
I put
But,
a stuffed dog in all my
Hey,
films. This guy
hey,
puts
man.
his wife.
The grind is hard.
Yeah. So
Shit's hard.
yeah, but I had not, because I knew her from Hush and I knew her from Haunting of Hill House because she's such a big part there. And then I was Flanagan's wife, and then I was like, oh, so I went and looked up, and I was like, oh, she's a bunch of Flanagan stuff, and I was like, I couldn't remember where she was at Oculus. So one of the things I looked for in this time was where Flanagan's wife was, and I should know her name, but I don't.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you want to hire me for your horror movie, I have a great scream queen scream.
True. She does. But we've kind of been casting you as the creator of chaos in all of our movies.
Yeah.
In both movies that we worked on together, you are the cause of everyone's suffering.
Yeah,
Emma
you're
Dilemma.
more the Kaylie. That's kind of who I think I saw
I'm the Emma Dilemma.
when I wrote Hospitality, which
Yeah.
did not
That's not
exactly
okay.
go the way that I wanted, but the character that you played, Emma, was kind of the Kaylee of it. It's like, I'm going to
Yeah.
plan everything out, and we're going to go defeat this.
And it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
it's
gonna
be
start
great.
the
Yeah, and it's
apocalypse.
going to be easy, and then it ends up. So yeah, I think that was kind of heavily inspired by
I feel
Oculus.
like if I were to go on a journey like that, I probably would end up starting the apocalypse or
Yeah.
being murdered. So it's like it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Journey of self-discovery
I said
and the
apocalypse.
apocalypse.
I said apocalypse.
That's.
What's
I
an
think that's not the
apocalypse?
worst way that you can mispronounce apocalypse.
Apoopalypse.
That's the worst way. You did it. You got there.
Ah!
So among those photos,
Yeah.
she showed her brother photos of his mother's dead body.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yo, I had the note. Kaylie, what the fuck are you doing to your brother?
That's look. They were clearly. He didn't need to see that amongst all the other things.
I said yes. Immediately following his stay in therapy for years, let's hunt a demonic haunted mirror and return to the house our parents died in. That's the fucking move.
She's icy, man. And I do think she thought
She's
that he would be more
icy.
on board. That
Yeah.
you know
He wasn't-
He was
because
as cunning as she was, and that
Yeah.
basically him getting on the mental that he was faking it. And I think even
And then
she's
at the end of the movie, she's like, "Don't forget, please
yeah
don't forget."
that I think she's caught off guard when he's like, no, I really don't think that the mirror is haunted. I think even she's like, I thought you were lying to them to get out so that we could hunt the mirror together.
I guess
The
having
mirror-
watched the movie now and seeing what they went through, I would have been in Kaylie's position
Yeah,
too.
I mean, like, okay, you're out, let's go. We decided we're doing this, we're doing it.
Just the way that she said it at the beginning when they're at, like, the breakfast table, she's like, the mirror, I found it.
Yeah.
As if they've both been plotting this
Yeah,
for years.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
hey, I finally did this.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and so, you know, to her, it's just like, we're the same type of crazy now. And he's like, no.
Like, you were
Only
wrong.
you are crazy. It is weird, I think, that this movie doesn't gloss over is that they do force him after he kills his dad to be put into a mental institution, but the daughter who is witness to her brother killing her father and her father killing her mother,
She's
they're
all
like,
scot-free.
anyway, good luck with that.
Well,
Hopefully
clearly
you can-
they don't listen to kids
Yeah,
in this movie.
Hopefully you can
How
process,
did
but they do
figure
know.
out so quickly that he had done it at the scene? I guess
I
it's just
assume
when them
he admits
told
it.
them, yeah.
They pull him aside and they go, "What happened?" And he's like, "This mirror possessed my dad, and then my dad used me to shoot him." And they were like, "This
And they
kid
arrest
shot his
the
dad." And
child?
they think he's crazy, so they arrest him because they think he's a danger.
Ugh.
But it is weird. You would think that because the two stories of the children would line up so well that they would
Yeah.
have the same delusion, that they would at least like state and mandate some therapy for Kaylie, who seems got
Who
either,
got her mother shot
Yeah.
on top of her?
Yeah.
Like,
who it seems either got zero therapy or was better at pretending.
You get a parent shot, and you get a parent
Yeah.
shot. Everybody gets a
Which
parent
I think
shot.
that's maybe the most likely thing, if you really want to like pick it apart, is that they did give her state mandated therapy, but unlike Tim, she faked her way through it. Is like kind of a psychopath and
yeah,
could like
I mean, she was very smart.
pretend that she agreed with everything they were saying. It was like, yep, I had this dream last night, and I know that it was my brother all along, and there's no haunted mirror. And they're like, great, she checks all their boxes. You're out of therapy. And she was like, oh, they bought it. And she kind of outsmarted her way through the state-mandated therapy
Yeah.
instead of the brother who actually went through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes more sense than them just being like, I don't know, fucking deal, kid.
How many times did she see the woman? Because I know the son saw the woman multiple times, but
Yeah.
how many times did she
I
see?
think they seem to say that they had seen her off camera as well. Because one of the
Yeah.
times when the brother talks about it, it's a scene they don't ever show.
Yeah, of her.
The only one they
standing.
ever definitely, you know, early when she sees the woman is the one time when they're playing in the
Oh, I feel weird. Sorry, I just got a chill.
yeah. Yeah,
I was
it's
just
spooky.
Yeah, when he was sitting at the dinner table, like she was in the kitchen and she went into the office.
Yeah, I think she lives there.
Oh God, and the mom's just crying.
Yeah.
I wonder. I don't know. This movie was scary.
Yes.
I mean, it was scary.
Oh boy. Okay. The fingernail scene. That wasn't okay.
I literally
Yeah.
said right before this scene, my least favorite scene in Black Swan, and kind of the reason I won't watch it again is because of the scene with her fingernails.
This movie does not do any jump scares. Do you think, like, okay, it's a supernatural movie, so chances are what they're going to do is a lot of, like, suspense build-up and jump scares. And what they do is a lot of suspense build-up and then gross
gore.
out scares. Which is, like, you don't expect from a movie when you see, like, Haunted Mirror, they're not going to do a lot of gore stuff. But they do it, and it really sets you off balance because, you know, and I think this is probably the right time to talk about it. The fingernail comes first, where he sees he's got a Band-Aid on, and he pries the Band-Aid off, and then he thinks the Band-Aid's still there, and he tries to pry the Band-Aid off again, and he pries his fingernail off. And that's pretty rough.
And then throughout
then-
the movie, you see more Band-Aids on his fingers, and he
yeah.
has blood on the fucking
Yeah,
wall,
because
and it's
implying
just...
that he is constantly ripping out his own fingernails because of the mirror. And which is really an innovative way to torture someone.
And
If
they-
you want to get an idea of like what kind of fucked up entity this mirror is, it's an entity that instead of
They
just
do
outright
that-
killing you, will be like, before I kill
Like-
you, I'm gonna make you rip all your fingernails
like
off.
torture, types of torture, I
The
don't know.
bamboo torture.
Yes,
Yeah.
when they put the bamboo splitters under your fingernails. There was a lot of screaming at some points in this movie for me and Tristan. They like to eat glass in this movie.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good transition into the apple and the light bulb.
Yeah, so this one was
Sounds like an Aesop fable,
yeah,
but
yeah. But it is not at all, unless the end of his fable is don't fuck around with haunted mirrors. The scene is in the trailers, so I don't think it's giving too much
is
away.
it?
Yeah, in which the mirror makes you see things, and Kaylie has to eat. She has an apple.
They spoiled that in the trailer?
Yeah, they showed that in the trailer.
What a dumbass thing to do.
It's kind of obvious, though, but it doesn't make it any less terrifying.
Yeah, and she's, she's eating the apple, and it's right next to these light bulbs, and she's changing light bulbs because the power keeps going out. And, of course, it ends in her thinking she's taking a bite of an apple, and instead taking a bite of a light bulb.
But then it does it
and
again,
it's
it's
like,
really
okay.
the apple!
It's really the apple.
And that's where it all fucking starts.
Yeah, and, and that's a pretty horrifying scene.
I'm glad the dog got away.
I should have filmed...
Oh, yeah, the dog lived.
Yeah, the dog got away. But yeah, I should have filmed Tristan's reaction because I knew the scene was coming, and I know, that's a hard watch. It's a hard watch to, know that she's going to take a bite of a light bulb, and then, she takes
Watch
a bite,
her do it.
and then she, spits blood into the light bulb, and then she pulls a piece of glass out of her mouth from the back of her throat.
We shouldn't have brought this up. I didn't want to relive it. It's terrible. It's awful.
And then the mom eats the fucking plate.
Oh, yeah. She just punches into that ceramic plate later in the...
Guys, wait until I get famous. The Tristan cut of this movie will not have that scene.
What?
You will be safe on that one.
As much as it freaks me out, I love it.
Yeah.
I
still think there should be. I think people have the right to know.
The scene at the end when she's just impaled by that fucking thing, and she's just got the blood running out of her mouth.
She can't say anything because it went all the way through her neck.
I love it. It's so good.
I will say this.
I love fake blood.
It's a cool effect for the anchor to go through her neck, but that anchor, if it gone through her neck, would have cracked that mirror again.
Yes.
If it gone through her chest, I could see it not cracking. But it went through her neck, that would have hit that mirror. And, for effect, I think they didn't do it, but they needed to go through the neck so she can split blood on the mirror because it looks cool. But that's, the one part where you have to, suspend your disbelief and go, you know what? Fine. It's for the visual. You gotta do stuff, as filmmakers, you gotta do stuff for the visual sometimes. Flanagan, I'm writing you a pass on this.
And, I knew she was there, and he didn't see it.
Oh,
and, you guys are really that stupid? I
think he's just so ready to be done.
Yeah.
That was what I was gonna say. This maybe, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this on our podcast, but...
Probably.
Wait,
you're not about to be, pro-Nazi or anything,
No.
right?
I have partaken in marijuana before. And what struck me about this movie, okay, I'm gonna start going, is that that is my feeling. I don't do it ever because the 2 times that I've smoked.
Hi, Alex's mom.
Yeah, she knows. I think I've told the story.
Okay.
Where you immediately you think everything's real, and then you come to, and then you're everything that I just experienced before right now was fake. And then you come to again, and you're okay, no, now this is the real one, and everything else is fake.
What
Or
the
I'm
fuck
constantly
are you smoking?
feel like I'm coming to, from a dream. I constantly feel like I'm waking up from a dream.
Dang.
That's my feeling when I smoke. That I keep thinking that okay,
What
I'm
kind
awake
of
now.
weed you
I don't know. But I had that horrible paranoia of nothing is real, but now it's real. Oh shit, no wait, it wasn't. This is real.
Wow.
And
you can't
and
smoke
that
weed.
The
This
first
weed was grown
so
by
I don't
Icy
anymore.
Burgers,
And I
some
saw
shit.
Oh my God.
I've done it twice with two different people and 2 different
Maybe that's just your
types
brain.
of smoking. And I remember watching this movie the first time and thinking, this is exactly what
2
being
types
high.
of smoking.
Yeah. It was one was a bong and the other was a joint, maybe? I can't remember. Anyway.
Dad.
So yeah, this movie gave me some bad trip flashbacks because it felt like I was oh, I know exactly what these characters are going through. I did it when I smoked marijuana.
My trip flashbacks from smoking marijuana. Yeah. I love that sentence so much. I have a funny story of being really high that will be very quick and that I just feel like should be shared on a platform. I smoked some really strong weed recently, and I went out to go hang out with my friends. I smoked it, I got right in my car, and I drove because people drive when they're high, it's this and this and this, but I wasn't crazy high.
What the hell?
Then when I got there, it had kicked in by the time I got there. I was a huge stoner in high school. I drove all the time. It's just, it makes you slow.
We don't condone this.
No,
I
don't condone it.
Anyway, when
Uncut.
you got there.
But got there, I was hanging out, and we went to a bar, and I realized I had forgotten my wallet at home because I'm dumb. And I went to go back to my car, and I couldn't find my keys in my purse. I had emptied the whole thing, so I had to call AAA and sit on my car for an hour and a half. I ended up canceling the AAA and sneaking into a bar. My friend brought me home, and I had to knock on my door because my roommate couldn't get out of his bed because his weed was so strong. And then I called AAA again in the morning. And I was going to get there, and I was sitting by my car, and I dropped my purse and my keys fell out.
See, that's what I'm saying. And when that happens...
That's the worst thing that could happen to you when you smoke weed.
And when that
Sounds
happened,
pretty
did the
bad.
Oculus, like, blah, 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 music play because you realized your keys have been in your purse the whole time? And you're like, fuck, because that's what I'm talking about. Is you're suddenly like, oh shit, my keys are right here. Blah, blah, blah. You know, that's exactly the kind of shit the mirror would do.
I thought it was so
Just
funny.
make you think you had
But,
lost
like,
your
that's
keys.
the worst thing that could happen. It was just, I had to share that because I really thought.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
called AAA twice and I waited a total of 2 hours.
And when you called AAA, they were like, you'll have to wait till your father calls. Weed is basically a haunted mirror. This whole movie is a metaphor.
It's pro gun and
Pro gun, anti weed. This movie hates hippies.
this is really right wing.
Oh, if you want to see a real, we should watch. This is a little bit of a tangent. A real horror movie that's incredibly
What is
pro
it, this
gun
podcast?
is the movie Winchester, in which this is a bit of a spoiler. The only way they can defeat the ghosts is by shooting the ghosts with a Winchester rifle. And I was like, wait, are you guys telling me this whole horror movie is an ad for Winchester guns? It's like the only way to defeat a bad ghost with a gun is with the good ghost with a gun? Like, it's
the
crazy.
only people who can really do some damage on some ghosts are the Winchesters.
Not supernatural Winchesters. Watch the movie Winchester. That is all an ad for shooting ghosts with Winchester rifles.
Or watch this movie if you want to be really scared of mirrors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to watch a good movie, watch Oculus. If you want to watch
really
a
good.
bad movie about shooting ghosts, watch Winchester with Helen Mirren, I think.
With Helen Mirren.
Yeah, she plays Lady Winchester.
This is why we should watch. Wait, that's not Helen Mirren. Never mind. I was thinking of Suspiria.
I do want to watch that.
What's her name? What's her name?
Circling back around a little
Sorry.
bit.
Okay,
Oh,
we're
you
going
found it.
off too much. No.
Circling back around a little bit.
Tilda
remember-
Swinton.
Tilda
Oh,
Swinton.
there you go. Good job, Emma.
We got there.
Remember how throughout What's Eating Gilbert Grape,
Yeah.
it was making us all really hungry?
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie made it not that way.
I got hungry, and then the apple scene happened. I'm never gonna eat again.
Just in case that whatever you're about to eat is actually glass. I will not eat
Anyway,
within
I'm gonna eat
100
this banana
yards.
right here.
Within 100 yards of a mirror, I will not eat anything.
I wonder how much it projects out, though. Like, how far do you
It
think
seemed
it could
like, it got
possibly-
at least through the bank, to the bank tellers. And stuff.
Mirror service.
Yeah.
Bank tellers.
Yeah, that one of the stories she tells is a bank teller
Oh.
that was hanging at a bank, and the bank teller killed himself or something like that.
Yeah. I'd like to see the story about the guy who tried to kill it, who realized.
Yeah, who really the professor who realized. Yeah.
That'd be a cool.
And also, let's not
sequel.
forget about the other victim of this movie, the guy that spent 10 grand on this mirror. And
Yeah.
now,
It's just
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
yep.
No.
That 10 grand could have gone to charity.
Yeah. Can you imagine you win a mirror? No, it's over because they started the bidding at $10,000. Yeah.
It was
so,
$16,000.
$16,000 somebody pays for the mirror, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up Monday. Let's say that a Friday at 16 grand. Then Monday I'm gonna pick it up, and you're like, I'm here for my mirror, and they're like, here's the thing: someone dropped an anchor through a woman, in the holiday. The woman who was in charge of keeping the mirror took it back to her family home,
Where
where her
everybody was
brother
murdered.
dropped an anchor through her neck, and her blood is splattered all over your mirror. You're
You
like,
want it?
yeah, you still want it? That should have been the post-credit scene. Shouldn't have been like, what the fuck?
We have good ideas.
That's
See?
I'm gonna save that for our Prestige discussion about how I want to make a parody of the Prestige.
I cheated, and I know I said I knew nothing about it, but I looked it up because I wanted to see what its rating was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love this movie because it's a period piece.
Yeah, it is period piece.
I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
Oh, The
It's one of my
Prestige?
favorite
Yeah, that was
movies.
if people wonder why we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Tristan gave me a choice, 2 movies for my list.
Oh, yeah.
Oculus and The Prestige, and I chose Oculus because I had just watched The Prestige 3 days ago. So, because it is one of my favorite movies. But yeah, so that was one of the options we decided to go with Oculus. But we will watch The Prestige because it's
I'm
on
really
mine
happy to
and
watch
Tristan's
this.
top 25.
Yeah.
Probably make it on mine if it's that good.
It's
Damn.
really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know how I felt about the ending until throughout this whole discussion. Now I like the ending. I'm
You like
happy with how it ended.
I do too. And I
Yeah.
do think if I were to
Yeah.
work on a sequel, it would probably be the court case. with Tim.
I'd like that.
And where they bring the mirror
Me
in
too.
as like a piece of evidence, and then like the whole courtroom starts going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the jury's locked in the jury room with the mirror.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I was really pissed off.
We're not gonna have
at the
this
end of
movie
this,
for a
and
while,
I was
and that
kind of
sucks.
crying and freaking out, but it was a good ending
Yeah.
because it's just sad.
Yeah, it's a depressing movie.
Yeah.
Really
I mean, if you want to
sad.
feel good, don't turn this movie
you
on.
saw my emotional reaction earlier when I tried to talk about that scene with the dad and
Yeah.
the gun, and I'm getting really
Stop to it again
right now.
Guys, that seems so good.
But she's not emotional.
Yeah.
She's not an emotional person.
I have a thing for, like, anybody I can imagine as my little brother. I'm out. I'm done. I'm dead. I'm crying. That's it.
So parents and children being separated by death, like, gets to you?
What?
Having
Tristan,
to kill his
weirdo.
father.
Okay, you were being
A
sarcastic.
father
For
putting
a
his
minute.
finger on the trigger
Yeah.
with his son's hand, holding the gun and
Yeah.
shooting
and
himself.
that's like you got
That's
that.
some fucking shit right
You've got
there.
that music too, which like in
Yeah.
some ways it's like they kind of repeat the same scene. Is that like where like the parent is able to break the control of the mirror just long enough to not kill their children,
Yeah.
and so you almost wish. I almost wish because of how much more powerful it is with the kid killing his dad, that I almost wish they hadn't done it with the mother. Like almost the same scene where
Yeah.
they're being choked and then they let go because they
Same.
realize who it is. So it almost cheapens it that they did it with the mom like maybe 10 minutes beforehand. And if I were going to be critical of the movie, that'd be a point in this
Yeah.
time that I was critical of.
If they didn't have that, do you think the audience would still understand that the father had come to?
I mean, I don't think it matters. I mean, I think
Okay.
they would semi-understand it once they saw that the mirror was cracked.
Poor
I think
thing.
that you should be able to piece that
Okay.
together. But I think they needed to find a reason for the dad to shoot the mom, because that like fits in with the court case better to help
Yeah.
make the brother look more innocent if both parents are dead. So the dad has to shoot the mom. The only reason the dad would shoot the mom is if for some reason the mom was hesitating. And so they have to do it, and then they have to have the dad get shot. So they kind of lock themselves into it. And It makes
Yeah.
most sense plot-wise for the setup, but then in terms of like its actual, impact at the end, it cheapens it a little
Emotional
bit.
impact,
But
yeah.
Crazy that we knew both exactly what was going to go down, and it
Yeah.
was still effective.
yeah, and it's still very
so,
effective.
a lot of respect for the writing there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now,
Just
whenever
with
I
the-
need you to get emotional for a scene, I know what to bring up.
I'm
I'm gonna
a little method.
I'm gonna
don't
have
really
this
need
scene
to
on
pull
hand,
I don't
just
need
on
to
my
pull on
laptop.
those things. I can create that emotion. That's how I work. Because
Aw.
if I have to pull from a memory, that memory is going to get depleted, and then I'm going to have to
Yeah.
do something else, and I might run out. So, yeah.
No,
I don't
alright.
rely on that method too much.
Okay. Anyways,
But it would work for something.
gonna try it. Get ready, guys. So yeah, that was my last note.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done.
I
Okay.
think so too.
So
I
I guess
feel
now
better
it's time.
having talked about this.
Now it's
I'm a
time
little
for
less freaked out, maybe a little bit.
Time for
It'll circle
ratings.
back.
I'm excited for the dreams I'm gonna have tonight. That's for sure. They're gonna be weird because they've been really weird this week. I've been
Yeah.
killing a lot of people in my dreams. Bad people. But yeah.
Yeah, I've had to sleep at my parents' house, and I haven't been able to
like
sleep
a big
next to
one.
Liz, and that's been sucky. So I'm glad
sorry.
that tonight I
You're
get to.
both- oh, you're going home.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm glad I'm gonna
I
get
was
to
like, at
actually
least we'll
sleep with
both
someone
suffer.
tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Well, rating
Um,
time.
Yep.
We're still doing it out of 10.
We never.
or letter
We've
grades?
never done it out of 10. It's
Every
always a
time.
letter grade.
It's a letter grade.
You're right. I mean, A.
Solid A?
Yeah, solid A.
Okay.
Solid A.
B plus.
I'm like really torn between A minus and B plus.
B plus.
I don't know, that little brother line it's like.
I'm gonna. The reason
I'm gonna give it an A minus. A minus.
Damn, I'm being the hard one right now.
No, explain.
Yeah.
My B plus.
Yeah. I mean, not that B plus is a bad grade.
No, it's not at all.
I was happy in
Because
school.
I felt that the relationships between the brother and sister were not.
In the
we're not
future,
equal.
we're not equal to the past.
No, and I would have really liked to see that relationship have a stronghold.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a purposeful thing or the fault of the actors or the writers, but it
I
kind of brought
do.
everything down.
I
for
can
me.
understand. Like I've had that where I felt in writing where I decided
Yeah.
on what I want my characters to be independently. So I'm gonna have this badass in control chick
Yeah.
who's like working in the mirror, and her brother's gonna be kind of nervous and timid, and he's going to go through the psychological thing. And then once you put those two characters, you start writing them together, you're like, oh,
shit,
this is really hard to write these two personalities together in a believable way. But you're like, but they work so well as independent characters, and they don't work as well together. I've had that, and I could see that being an issue. And that, if you wrote the children characters together, and you're like, okay, they're very much defined by what's going around them. Those two characters defined by their circumstances, whereas the future versions are defined by, like, I think, set character traits. And that's where you get that disconnect, is probably where they came from. And they should have both, the children and the adults should have either come from the same starting point. It should just come from the same starting point. I don't think they did.
And that's I mean, the acting is a really big part for me,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm knocking it down a whole letter, because that and what we just talked about, the emotional impact that scene with the father would have had if they had not done that exactly before with the mother.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's his first movie, so there are some, I think, little parts that you can critique, and I think a B+ is fair. I love it because of my, like, obsession with the horror genre, and the fact that, like, because I've seen so many horror movies, it is tough for one to sit with me for, like, a really long time, and the way this has always sat with me, and has even, like, continuously makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do you think it would sit with you if, like, they had destroyed the mirror in the end?
No. The ending, I think, is the strongest part of this movie. And, that was something I was going to say that I knew I should have written it down, but I remember it now. From, like, a little writer thing. This is one of the first movies that I saw that I really appreciate in terms of horror that doesn't feel the need to explain its evil entity. So a lot of horror movies tend to
have a motive.
And it's especially common in, like, the newer wave with, like, the Conjuring movies, where you have a thing and it starts torturing somebody. And then Insidious does this as well. And then they learn what the evil entity is, and then the second half of the movie is them fighting the evil entity. Whether they win or lose, there's a portion where it switches from being a horror movie to almost like an action thriller,
a battle,
where they're like, we're fighting this
we know what the
we know what this is.
I'd say that's the perfect thing to go along with that one is actually Jaws.
Yeah, and that, I think, kind of starts it, and that has become very common as a trend. And I like that this movie doesn't ever even feel the need to tell us
its origin or
what
why
is in it. Is it a demon? Is it is the mirror evil? Who made the mirror? You just don't. All you know is that this mirror is
fucking killing people,
smarter than you, and will fucking kill you, and wants to kill you.
I like that too.
Like, what matters is what happens right here, right now, and what happened to who's here right now.
Yeah, and from a writing perspective, when I watch things and I think about when I sit down to write something, and of course I want to sit down and write horror, it is almost freeing, because if I had never seen this movie, there's so few movies that don't feel the need to explain their evil entity.
So then it doesn't
and that
control your
it's
plot.
almost that I can go, you know what? I don't need to explain it, because I think if you hadn't seen a movie that executes it as well as this one is, I would feel the need to, okay, if I write a horror movie, I'm going to have to explain it.
Fancy Feast.
Yeah, I just, there was no origin of the cat or anything like that, because, and that I think comes from something like Oculus, where I've seen it done so well before, and then I go, okay, when I'm writing Fancy Feast, if it hadn't been for something like Oculus, I might have felt the need to be like, people aren't going to like it if I don't explain where the cat came from. But I just was like, you know what? People are fun. It will be fun. It works out.
It is freeing for you to write whatever you want about the characters, because you don't have to focus on
because you don't have to come up with an origin or just waste time with an origin for the antagonist. And so that's something I appreciate about this movie, and has
because you're more so involved with the brother and sister's origin.
Yeah, and you just. The mirror has a character without it having to have a background. It is its own character without having a backstory, and that's awesome. And I think they do that. Flanagan, he hits that line right on it, and I like the movie because of that.
Fantastic. So B+, A-, solid A.
Yep.
Cool.
I'm sticking with it.
All right.
Watch it.
Thanks for joining us.
Next week, guys, we're watching Hook.
Oh man.
Are we really?
Yes.
Tristan's number 1.
I may have abused my power a little bit.
Hook it is.
That's okay, though. It's going to be fun.
We will see you on Wednesday.
Made sure that Brooke was available so that she can finally see it, too.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Get excited, everybody.
See you Wednesday.
Bye.
Okay, good.
Oh my god, I would have killed you? Actually killed you.